pleasure of interviewing Miss Tiffany Haley. Hey, Tiff, how are you?
Hey, Cheryl, doing well, thank you.
Doing great. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, whatever you want to share.
Well, I'm Tiffany Haley. I'm a Dallas native. I grew up in the community of Pleasant Grove. I have a healthcare background. Let's see, some fun facts about me. Let's think about that. I love collecting sandals.
Oh, wow.
I know that's strange, but I love collecting sandals. Okay. I also, and this is kind of a little shameful, but I like collecting Louis Vuitton purses as well.
Oh, wow.
So that's my little secret. I don't like to tell everybody, but you know, it's one of those girly things. Yeah. I am one of 3 children. I come from a very large family. And I shared this on a prior interview that I grew up in the back of barbershops and salons. So business and church were 2 very important things in my life. They still are. Yeah. But that's kind of a little bit about my background. And here recently, I just quit my job to pursue full-time entrepreneurship.
Yes, that's what we're going to talk about.
That's so a little bit about me.
Definitely. So excited. So tell us, build us up to the point where you decided.
Ooh,
I'm going to throw in the towel and do it for myself.
Okay.
For me, it was a 2-year battle with myself.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I sat at my office for 2 years thinking, can I do it? Can I not do it? Can I do it? 2 years.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So tell us your story.
You know, it's, and I know it's different for everybody, but for me, because I come from entrepreneurship, it was just one of those things that I knew I was going to do eventually, period. Okay. But it came quicker than I had expected. And so I had always been in planning and, you know, trying to figure out, okay, when is the right time? But I enjoy my job as well, you know. So, and I wanted to kind of build up a little bit more and go into more high-level leadership roles within, you know, the companies I worked. But I think I just started getting a little tired, a little fed up. And I think just with the whole COVID situation, that just propelled me into going into, let's get this done. And what happened was we started working remotely. Yeah. And I loved that.
You did?
Yes, I did. And so I knew eventually we would probably start to come back. And so when we went remote, and when I started thinking about, okay, we're going to start going back, I started planning a lot more strategically about what it was that I was going to do. So I think the scary part for a lot of people is their finances. Yes. And so because I've always been really big on finances, I had always been financially prepared to take a leap.
Oh, that's good.
It wasn't where I would have felt extremely comfortable, where I can get a few years in if that be the case. But I said, well, you know what? Let me just do my calculations first. I did my calculations. I looked at my plan of action, and then I looked at short term. Yes. And then I always knew my long term, but it was that gap. It was that gap I had to fill. Right. And so I started evaluating that, and I said, you know what? I never knew what my comfort zone was. Yeah. But my comfort zone was finances. Yeah. And getting a check from my job. And so I've never not had a job. If I didn't have one, I had 2. So, So, I said, well, this is my comfort zone, and I think this is the sacrifice that I need to make, and this is what's really going to push me into where I need to go. And so I did it, and it was scary. Sure, I'm not one of those people that's like, just quit your job and don't do. No, I get it. I have bills. You know, I have responsibilities, and so I had to make that sacrifice, and it was extremely scary. Still scary. Yeah. It is, you know, but it's making me get up every day, put effort into my dreams, you know. So that's kind of what pushed me in that direction.
Absolutely. And I will tell you, next month, October 14th, will be 16 years for me.
Wow.
And it was the best thing I could have ever done.
I hear everybody say that.
Oh, my goodness. And at first starting it was like, what am I going to do? I need these benefits. I need this.
Yes. It is real.
All of that you have to consider. That's why I tell people, you know, quitting your job is not only a financial decision, it's an emotional decision.
It definitely is.
Because you got to be able to count on you.
Sure.
You got to be able. You gotta be able. And if you're
so
not, I
true.
tell people, it's not for everybody.
It's not.
If you don't feel that you can count on you and you're gonna get up and do what you need to do, stay working for somebody else. You can always hide and still get the check. You can hide.
Yes, ma'am.
Hide the debt.
Yes, ma'am.
But if you know that God has put something in you that only you can do it, you gotta go out and do it. And then I tell people, you can always get another job if you
absolutely,
have to.
absolutely.
At least try, give yourself some months, whatever you feel comfortable with.
For
and
sure.
It's just like, okay, and that's exactly where I
absolutely.
was. I started in October, and I was just like, okay, this is gonna get better. It's gonna get better. Come January, I didn't have no money. So I said, okay, God, if I don't have any money by February 1st, I know my job is gone. I'll just call somebody and get a job. I got a check January the 31st.
Cheryl, that's how.
And I'm just like, I'm always with God. Just show me. Don't be telling me. I need you to physically show me something. That first check was January the 31st. And I tell people many times, you need to ask bold prayers. You need to ask God for exactly what you want. And walk in that confidence that He's going to give you exactly what you want.
That's right.
Need and want, y'all.
That's right.
You hear me.
That's
Need
right.
and want. So tell me about maybe your people that you're around, your body of I don't know, just friends and people that support you or whatever.
Yeah.
Or were they real support, or were they like, girl, keep the job? You know, you got the benefits.
Oh, sure. I'm telling you some secrets, okay? So, I'm naturally an introvert. I'll be an extrovert when I have to. Yes, but it's exhausting.
I would have done
that's what everybody says.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. But so my circle was, of course, my friends, associates. Everybody was so excited. And they were so proud of me. And in the back of my head, I'm like, did y'all hear what I just said? You know, I just couldn't like, this is a different situation for me. And so, so everybody was good. Everybody was good. However, my father. He's one of, my father and I are similar. And especially when it comes to finances. And so I was a tad bit timid, and I did keep it from him. He was the last person I told. And I didn't sit down and share it with him. I mentioned it and walked out the door. And so and part of that is because I didn't want to worry him. You know, I didn't want him to feel like he needed to be concerned about me and
rescue you or something.
And he has his own circumstances. You know, my parents have businesses and stuff, and so those come with big bills. And so I didn't want my mom. I knew she would be okay with it. And she was very supportive and encouraging. But I wasn't so sure, and she told me, she said, Tiffany, just wait on telling your dad. Just wait on telling your dad. And I agreed with her. And so he was the last person I told, and I don't know who told him. I don't know if it was my brother or my cousin, but somebody told him. And all he did was he just sent me a text message randomly, and it was very short. He just said, if you ever need anything, you know, you can call me. And he just left it at that.
Awesome.
He's sweet. But he was the last person. And it wasn't that he wasn't supportive. He's always encouraging us. You know, this is his saying. Always get another job before you quit your current job. And he's correct. So I knew this would, and this is not how I move. This is not typical of me to do things like this. So I didn't know how he would take it. But outside of that, everybody's been so encouraging. So encouraging, Cheryl. And I've had so many confirmations. And that was the other thing I want to share real quick about what led up to that. I asked God to show me. I said, and make it clear. And it's funny because I know you and I have a similar background, but I grew up in the Church of Christ, and there's certain belief systems that are there. And I believe in manifesting.
Absolutely.
And I tell people all the time, you know, we don't utilize that word, especially not in church too much, or you don't hear it around, you know, in families. But manifesting is just that middle piece. You say your prayer, and then it's the manifesting right before you get the blessing, you know. And I tell you, look how manifesting spelled. Think about the MAN. That's the man, the human part. This is where you do everything in preparation for it. And I kept seeing the number 7. And so I looked up these things, and I believe in the It was my 7th year at my job that I quit as well.
So it was complete.
Yes. So those types of things were confirmation for me. And so took the leap.
Absolutely. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, walk us into exactly what you do and how you serve others.
Sure. So currently I started my agency, so it's Leverage Consulting Agency, and what we do is we teach individuals, specifically professionals, about how to manage their personal finances. We teach about career development, so whether that be resume auditing. We do teach you how to do interviews. We help leaders, and in personal finance we focus more so on budgeting, savings, and then we help you with debt and credit, those sorts of things. And then also we help individuals with starting up their businesses, if you're ready to grow your business, or even if you're ready to scale your business. And so that's what we help individuals do. And lastly, we do offer credit repair.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. And I see that is a huge service that's I see it on the internet all the time. Yeah. So tell us, if people are looking into that service, tell us some good things or some things they should stay away from maybe. When they're looking into credit repair. Because, like I said, I see that everybody is DMing you. Oh, I can help you. Yeah, and it's like, oh, okay, well, where did it happen? It's like somebody put out a flyer. DM everybody.
It kind of works like that. So one thing I always tell people about credit repair is, first of all, it's 100% legit. Credit repair is. However, you have to be very careful about credit repair companies that you hire to work on your credit, because there are a lot of things you have to be careful with. And here's the other thing: individuals that have credit repair companies, there's no license necessarily that you have to have. For your business, you do have to have a bond and those types of things, but you don't have to have any direct training or anything like that. Anybody can start a credit repair business. And so you have to be very careful about giving out your personal information. That's how a lot of identity theft happens. There's a lot of back end things you have to have in place to secure your client's information. And so if you're dealing with individuals, and as the consumer, you would have no clue. You have no clue. And so that's one end of it, dealing with credit repair companies. So be very careful. You have to be very, very careful about working with these companies. And also just working on it on your own. People say, well, I could do my own credit. You definitely can. You definitely can. But just like you can do your own nails, you can fix your own food, you can do all these things. But it takes someone who's been trained and considered an expert in that field to really help you and tell you. One of the things is, do not do your disputes online. You waive your rights as a consumer, and people don't know that. So there's certain things you have to be careful of when you're doing your own credit. Just even when it comes to your credit, you have to be careful about certain people. When it comes to credit repair agencies, you have to be careful about certain things that they do. I don't want to get in specifics, but there's a lot of illegal things that they do behind the scenes just to hurry up and get you those quick results. Sometimes, especially when it comes to filing police reports and such. So you have to be very careful when you do those sorts of things. And that's one of the reasons that it brought me to the industry, because if I'm teaching you finances, I got to teach you how to budget. I got to teach you how to save. I have to teach you how to use credit cards. I have to teach you about credit. It's full circle. And so I would do you a disservice if I couldn't teach it to you and then offer a professional, trustworthy service to help you.
A friend of mine just went through a credit repair place, and they took $1,400 out of her account.
I'm sure. Oh, yeah.
And she was like, I trust it. I said, girl, everybody that DM you, you can't trust them and give them all your stuff like that. And she said, well, how do you know if you really do it now? I said, I have no idea.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
She took that chance. And it was tough. So, I know so many people have experienced so much with dealing with online, but you have to, number one, know what your end game is, know what your results are that you're looking for. And number two, you need to network. I tell people,
absolutely,
our best business comes from people that we know.
That's right.
I believe that. I believe as friends, as cohorts, as colleagues, we owe it to each other to do business with each other. There is no reason why, hey, we now know Tiffany does credit repair, y'all. Y'all can trust her.
Absolutely.
Contact her if you need credit repair.
Absolutely.
She won't take $1,400 out of your account. But it's
Right.
I try to tell people, y'all, there is beauty in network.
It is.
There's
It
beauty in
is
network. If you
so
know
much.
your friend's cousin does this, guess what? They not gonna mess with you if they your
Absolutely.
friend's cousin. They're not.
Absolutely, Cheryl.
So it's so important as we rise up businesses, as we rise up groups and all
Absolutely.
that. Now, I remember you had a group of young ladies. I know y'all were doing a photo shoot. So tell us about that group.
Sure. So we haven't launched it yet, but we're planning to launch it at the top of the year.
Okay.
So 2022, and it's called Powerhouse Business Mavens.
Okay.
And so what it's based on, it's a platform for women in business who are ready to scale their business, grow their business, or if you have an interest in being in business.
Wow.
So we're a platform that actually supports those individuals, and so it's a community of women. But one of the really beneficial things about this particular venture is that it's really centered around collaborations.
Yes.
So you talked about networking. And so to me, when I think about networking, it's kind of tapping into individuals to see how you guys can work together, or if you have a resource that I could utilize, how can I help you? But one of the things about the collaboration that I really love is that it's business owners coming together for a common cause. We get money together. We share networks, and it's just it's a broader perspective on how we actually can grow together. And so our motto is we build business empires together as women.
Awesome.
So we're excited about it.
That is amazing. So definitely. Let me know so I can shoot that out to everybody. Definitely.
Yes.
That's what it's about, y'all. I believe that as business owners, we should be spotlighting each other. We should be letting each other know, okay, she does this, I do this, and we could all say, oh, okay, like Sammy, if you want a radio show, you need to contact Sammy here at Fishbowl Radio Network. That's something that people don't realize. So many things can be in our hands if we just ask. But see, that's the thing.
That's so true.
Many people won't open their mouth and they won't say, oh my goodness, I need help with this. We are not weak when we ask for help, y'all. We remain strong when we ask for help. Because when we come together, we can be power for each other. You don't have to struggle. That's one of the things that I have a friend, Juanita. I don't know if you know Juanita Bowen. She's now in Houston. Familiar. She used to be Greenville. But Juanita has this awesome opportunity for people for end of life insurance. She called it final expense. Because I don't know if you've ever checked into the whole life insurance game. When you get ready to get it, they make you wait 2 years. But what if you're sick and you can't make it 2 years? And that's what she said. There's something called final expense life insurance that people do not know about. Because my challenge is I'm heartbroken when I see the GoFundMe and you can't bury your loved one. So it's like we've got to be a person that is so passionate about others that I'm just trying to help you. I'm not trying to get in your business.
That's right.
I just want you to know, a friend of mine, her husband just got diagnosed with cancer. I said, girl, we getting this final life insurance.
That's right.
I said, even if I have to pay part of the premium.
That's right.
Because that's what love is about. We should be about loving each other and helping each other. If we know, this person, like my friend, her husband just diagnosed with cancer, you're gonna need some help, honey. You're gonna need some help. Let me help you. Let's get together. Let's call out. Let people know, hey, can you help me with meals? He just got out of the hospital. Whatever. That's what it's about.
Absolutely.
So tell me about a time in your life when you maybe had a struggle or something and you relied on your network to help you.
Ooh, goodness. Oh, good night. Let's see. Oh, there have been multiples. Although I do struggle with that. Absolutely.
Yes.
But I think this will fall under that this category. And it was with my sister. And so I'm trying to see if this is the best. Okay, we're gonna go with this one. So my sister and I we're 2 years apart, and we were having some challenges. And because we wanted to start businesses together, but we couldn't get over some sisterly challenges. So I would say my sister suggested it, that we start sisters therapy.
Oh,
So, and the reason why I'm hesitating with this is because I'm thinking about how that network looked, because now it's a part of my network. She is the therapist or the counselor. She's a part of my network as well now, but she started as a part of my sister's. And so because my sister and I were discussing it, she said, well, let me reach out to someone that I know. So what happened was I got a lot of things going through my brain at the same time. So what happened was she and I decided to get some help because of some generational curses. Yeah. That's my hesitation. Yeah, okay. So that we were having to fight to overcome. Yeah, definitely. And so because of that, we wanted to start a initiative in trying to break those things. Yeah, and it was challenging. Good. And so, but during the course of having these sessions, one of the things that was eye-opening for us and changed our whole relationship, it's not perfect now, but we know how to kind of course correct when we're going in a different direction, was that she told us, she said, why don't y'all just be sisters? Because I had always taken on a motherly role with my sister, and that had created a lot of challenges between us. I wouldn't even pull out of a parking lot before my sister, Sheryl.
Oh, wow.
That's how deep it was. And so as adults, you know, those things still stick with you. And so so now that she's a part of my network, we utilize her, and so many other people are wanting to utilize her as we start to progress. But the fact that she was a part of that, it helps so much. Me and my sister probably wouldn't have been able to, and we haven't fully overcome it, but just take some strides in that direction if we hadn't done that. And it has helped us so, it has created a total level of relief in the relationship for us. And we have a better relationship. We talk about everything now. It's a struggle sometimes, but we have to push through it. So a part of networking, she's a part of my network now, and so that's where it's been helpful so much.
I love that you mentioned this, because I know so many people are so hesitant about counseling and therapy. I've been in counseling my entire life.
Wow, that's awesome.
I believe in coaching and counseling.
It's important.
I believe the only way just like the professional football players and basketball, they have a coach, y'all.
Absolutely.
They're not good by themselves.
That's
They've been coached. They've been trained. The way you can become a better person is you have to be coached and trained.
That's right.
And you have to inspire. There's a guy, I tell you about this guy all the time, multimillionaire in Fort Worth, Texas. His name is Mike Crow. Okay. I sat at his feet for 2.5 years in his mastermind. Monthly, there was only 6 people allowed in the group. It was absolutely powerful. Expensive as all.
I'm sure.
It was absolutely
gotta pay to play.
Just the stuff that he taught me as a person.
Yeah.
You guys, that's invaluable. And one of the main things he said, and the reason why I tell everybody, you want to be a millionaire, because the more money you make, the more people you can help. Just the event that I had the other night to honor 45 women, y'all, that cost me some money. Hello, but it's about sharing what God has given you. Right. It's about sharing your knowledge, sharing your wealth, sharing everything. Just like sharing any of your contacts or anybody that can help someone else, y'all. That's what life is about. And like I tell you all the time, it's not what happens to you, it's how you respond.
That's right.
I've been through a lot.
Yeah.
I had a child that passed away in my arms at Children's Medical Center. Yeah, most people don't, because I don't talk about it much. Yeah. But what I realized is, me not talking about it wasn't getting to the audience that I needed to get to. Because there's some moms who've lost some children that needed to hear my story of how can you move on. You know, so I was able to write that book and say, these are the lessons that I learned from Adrian.
I love that.
I learned this from Adrian being in the grave, y'all.
I love that.
When you realize that your life is just intermingled, and I know many times we don't speak on, you know, the prophecy and the manifestation and all that stuff, but all of that stuff, as you study more, you become comfortable where you need to be. That's right. So when I tell everybody, this is an individual relationship, me and God.
That's right.
It ain't about my outer nothing. It's individual. So I don't struggle when I have a lot of female preachers that are in my life. Yeah. I have a lot of people that are in my life because I choose to be a different person. So I just wanted to ask you, what do you encourage your network to do as far as making themselves better, self-care,
Absolutely.
taking care of themselves.
Yeah.
How do you encourage them?
It's a lot of what you just said, Cheryl.
Yeah.
And it's so important in terms of self-care.
Yeah.
I think the first thing you think of when you hear self-care is let's go to the spa, let's get our nails
go
done,
shopping.
But
that mental health,
man, Cheryl, it's a internal level of growth that you have to be intentional about. Right. You have to. It's a journey.
It is,
and it's so. It's so. I don't even have the words for it, and I think it's because I'm in that space currently, and I just approached it, and it's amazing. It really is. And once you get a hold of it, because see, it can run rampant at first, and trying to gain a better understanding of what direction and how to maneuver within it can be intimidating, and it can be scary. But one thing I have learned, and what I encourage other people to do, is just walk into it. Because it's not going to always be pretty. As you can see, I don't know if you can notice it, but I'm currently in that space, and you see my hesitation on certain topics or wanting to say certain things, because although it's a part of my journey, sometimes I'm a little timid about how it's going to affect other people. Speaking up, and that's the other thing I encourage people to do too, is just go for it. People are going to, whoever it's affecting, they're gonna have to deal with it.
Right. Pray that they get what they need.
Absolutely.
I think everybody has their own struggles that they deal with. Many times they don't see that me being better, it might help you.
Absolutely.
It might help you, but it also might make you feel uncomfortable. I can't tell you the number, and I'm not gonna say friends. I've always been a person. Oh, she my friend. I've always been that person. But as I've gotten older, y'all, double nipples. As I've gotten older, I see now that I use that friendship thing too loosely. So I start to pull back. And I don't call people my friends. I say, oh, these are my associates. Okay, this is a girl I know.
That's how you do it. Yep.
And you have to do that because it can mess with you.
It can.
When you think, okay, I thought we were friends.
Because those expectations you start to have.
We're friends.
Absolutely.
So
you're so right, Cheryl.
It's an internal game.
It is so refreshing. Mm-hmm. It is so, and a part of my journey is, I was raised a certain way, and there's certain characteristics about myself. I'm really an open book, but I don't volunteer it.
Right.
I don't volunteer information. And so I have to I've been getting in the practice of being intentional about that, because I did not realize that a lot of the things I've experienced, people can use.
Hello.
I didn't Cheryl, and what really opened my eyes to that was, it was hurtful, because I was like, man, do you really think I'm perfect? I'm not. Do you really think I don't go through things? I do. Was a classmate of mine from high school. This was maybe 2 years ago. There was something posted. I think this was when Red Table Talk came out with Jane and her family. And so she had some touchy topics on there. And so I think I might have posted something, or I commented. Anyway, she saw it. And it was about relationships. And she, I think I was engaged at one point. And so I think I might have said something, and he had a child, and we were just talking. I might have spoke about, what I had went through in their relationship. Right. And she commented, and she said, Tiffany, I would have never guessed you would have gone through that.
Wow.
I'm like,
because you're perfect. You're Patty perfect. It's like, I'm not Patty perfect. What are you talking about?
I'm like, it was hurtful, and that's when I realized you need to be more open, Tiffany. You need to share more. You need to do that.
See, with your business journey, it's important that you share and be as transparent as you possibly can, because that's going to bring you people. Yes. There are people that are assigned to me that I would have never thought that would even have anything to do with me. But that's part of that being transparent.
It is.
It's like, okay, I'm 55. 55.
Right.
I don't even care what you think no more.
Yeah.
But that's a journey.
It's a journey.
That's a journey. I didn't start out that way. I went from caring what everybody thought to now it's like, I'm just doing me. I'm tired, y'all. I gotta be me.
Oh,
I gotta be me. And if you like me, yay! But
if you don't, yay! Yeah, it's still yay. Absolutely.
We good.
And that's another thing I had to learn, even with my sister. She thought it was so perfect.
Oh, wow.
Because I had to uphold an image for her. And part of it was a good thing because I knew she was watching me, you know, and I knew that she did a lot of things that I did. Wow. And so I had to be careful. But as I told you about those generational curses, you know, I don't know how much you know about my family, but I come from a very big family, especially on both sides. My mom's side, there were 16 children.
Yes.
And so, you know, a lot of what they went through caused them to grow up fast, and they had to rely on each other. And a lot of that took them out of sisterly roles. It put them in motherly roles, and that carried on to us. And so they instilled that in us, and initially it felt good. It felt good for my sister to look at me like I was her hero. I was this big sister that I could do no wrong, and I will say there was a lot of positive things that came from that, you know, because she did positive things, you know.
Absolutely.
But it was heavy for me.
Oh yeah.
It was so
real.
I just want to be me.
I just want to be real.
And a lot of that centered around just being a big sister, and so I had to grow into, and I'm still growing into just being Tiffany, you know, and it's not easy.
Absolutely.
But it's
good.
And
you will see as you attract different business partners and people, you know, come for your service, they're going to say, oh, you're so real, and you're so this, and it's just like, that's what's needed in today's climate.
So
you know, because I'm all about love, and I tell people, it's about love for me. So it's about, you know, me making sure, are you okay? Forget the money. Are you okay?
Yeah.
You know, can you do this? Are you going to be okay? You know, I can walk you through a whole bunch of stuff, but the thing is, do you want it? And that's what I'm always telling people. I can, you know, try to make you be anything you want to be. But the thing is, if you don't want it, you're never really going to accept that responsibility. You're never going to walk in the path that God has for you. And I didn't accept my path until a couple of years ago, actually. And I think part of it had to do with Rodney getting sick. Me and my husband been married 34 years, got sick at year number 30. So I had to be, and I made this statement the other day on a Facebook Live. Some people say, oh, this is out of tradition. You're the leader of your house. Absolutely. My husband has a brain injury. I have to be the leader. So whether you think it's biblical or not, it is what it is. And I'm doing what God has called me to do. Whether, you know, people think that that's out of character or not. I know I'm not out of character. I have so much confirmation from God on this. So I'm doing, and that's part of the other thing with religion, you know, barriers that we have to face sometimes, you know, and just trying to get through that. But for me, it's about us being the light that we were called to be and doing what we were called to do. So I'm so excited that you found it and that you know, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm so excited every day. No. So tell us about, do you remember when the Purpose Driven Life book, Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren, did you ever read that one? Okay, it was so good. But on every podcast, everything, people were talking about, tell me about your purpose. So how did you find your purpose?
Well, I think I'm still on the journey of that.
Still on the journey. Okay,
and I think it came, well, when I say my purpose, I know I've always known that it is to be some help to others. And I know that sounds so cliche, but it's always been to figure out how I can, first of all, I'm just a natural person that looks for improvement. And that can be in a negative way too. Okay. But it's always figuring out, how can I make this situation better? How can it be improved? And so I actually take that into when I work with other people as well. So that's why consulting was so easy for me to do in certain areas. But as far as my purpose, I think I'm walking into it now. And it's so funny because I've been getting a lot of confirmation behind it. And I think it's also to bring people together and actually figuring out, how can we work together? It seems to be, although I'm a natural introvert, when I'm an extrovert is when people take notice more and they're thinking, Tiffany, this is you. This is your lane. I'm like, I don't don't know about that.
Yeah.
But I think it's really, my purpose is really bringing people together and figure out how can I help you get to the next level.
Definitely. That's awesome. See, I believe our purpose is always attached to other people. Just like I believe our wealth is attached to other people.
I agree.
I believe that
It
we're
is.
meant to be, leaders, millionaires, billionaires, because we are the family of God, So what other better person to have the wealth than somebody who's going to be in God's team, with God's girl, and doing it for His glory.
Yes. My cousin, we've been doing this thing on Clubhouse. Well, this was our first time, and so everybody wanted to continue with it.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was just an effort for me to step out of my comfort zone and put myself out there. So I was like, I asked them, is there 7 ladies that are interested in, joining me on Clubhouse just to have a random conversation?
Yes.
And so we started calling it Boss Up Sis. Yeah. And so when we got into the room on Clubhouse, we got to talking. And one of the things we talked about was, it is okay to say you want to be a millionaire.
Oh,
it is okay to say you want to be a multimillionaire.
Yes.
It's nothing wrong with having money.
Hello.
God wants you to have abundance. Money is, and my cousin, she says it all the time. She was like, money gives you choices, and it does.
Yes,
it's nothing wrong with it. It's how you manage it and what you do with it.
Right.
That's the only difference. But you're meant to have money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the sooner we can walk into that vein, the easier our life will be. The easier people will be attached to us, and they can get their breakthrough. Because what better thing than to lead somebody to their own breakthrough and help them change their life?
Absolutely.
I have a friend that when she was a young girl, she was molested.
Yeah.
And she doesn't speak of that at all. But I just told her, I said, there's so much beauty and so much release. You're going to find so much therapy when you start to tell your story. And it doesn't even have to be in a graphic way. It can be in a way that's so empowering for women, and just what did you do as a result? Because you're a powerful sister right now. That's what you need to show. Hey, this didn't break me. This didn't break me. This made me better, actually. And just how she could teach that to so many people. And so many people will raise their hand. Just like the Me Too movement,
Absolutely.
The exact same thing.
Absolutely.
The exact same thing. Because you have no idea what is on with so many girls. One of the things that I do in addition to working with people with special needs is I work with the foster care system. Oh, wow. And I've seen so much.
Oh, I bet.
And it's sometimes I just have to go to my car and cry.
I bet, sure.
Because some of these kids have been through a lot. From a 2-year-old being molested, from just all kind of things you would never even imagine.
Absolutely.
Has happened to kids here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And as adults, we have to put up our hands and say, I will be that safe place for a child to come talk. I'll be that safe place if somebody needs help to get out of a bad situation. I can lead them to where to go next, So I think the more that we connect and we intertwine our lives and our communities and everything, everybody can be well. Everybody can be taken care of. I agree. But it starts with people raising their hands and saying, I'll help. I'll be a part. Yeah, I'll do it. Just like you did with Clubhouse. I have 7 women that want to join me for this, So it's stuff like that. I love grassroots stuff. Oh, I do too. When you think about President Obama, that's how he got elected, y'all. It was grassroots. It started there.
Cheryl, let me tell you something. And so I do a lot of community work as well. And so one of the things is that's how we do things. We take grassroots approaches. And I tell people all the time, especially it was some high level leaders and different individuals that will kind of challenge that. But because you can't get anything done sitting in your offices. Nope. You can't do anything. And if you look at it, a lot of strong leaders, even Jesus, they did grassroots. They took it to the streets. And that's what you have to do. That's where people are. That's where you have to meet them. So I definitely agree with you. That's the way to go.
It is so important.
You have to.
And that's why people say, well, why do you like events so much? Events bring people together.
They do.
And people need to hear other people's
story. They do.
So I had an event that was supposed to happen this past Saturday that I had to cancel. But when I bring it back, I have a young man. He is the father of 9 children. Oh, my. And I've met a lot of single dads in the line of work that I'm in. This guy's the most incredible guy I've ever met. He's single too? Yes. Oh, wow. 6 different women, 9 different children. Wow. And I told him, you need a medal just for dealing with 6 different women. Sure. Yeah, but he's been through a lot. I can imagine. And it's so interesting as people begin to share their story and help other people. That's when change happens, y'all. So definitely. Well, we are on our last few minutes. I wanted to see, how can the audience get in touch with you?
Yeah. So on Facebook, I am Leverage Consulting Agency.
Okay.
On Instagram, I am Leverage Consulting Agency. I'm sorry. On Facebook, I'm Leverage Agency Dallas. I'm trying to remember all these different. I had to switch it up because you know how names go.
Yeah.
But you can find us on our website also at www.leverageagencydallas.com. And those are our platforms we're using right now.
Do you have anything coming up? We know in January the ladies group will start.
Yeah, so in January we're planning to launch the Powerhouse Business Mavens community. So look out for that one. And so we're on all social media platforms as Powerhouse Business Mavens. And then let's see here. I think that's it for now.
Okay.
Working on a lot of projects, trying to get the business moving and things.
Definitely.
But that's all I got right now.
Okay. And a good client for you looks like what?
Someone who's serious about, first of all, when it comes to finances.
Yeah.
If you're really, and that's the thing, you have to speak up. You have to take initiative.
Right.
If someone is interested in building their finances, learning how to save, ready to get their credit right, who's interested in trailblazing their careers, trying to figure out, if you're tired of sitting at that job, I tell people all the time, stop sitting there suffering in silence. Speak up, get the assistance that you need. So someone who's ready to do that, someone who's ready to start their business, who needs some support in that area. So any of those areas, we're willing and ready to help you with.
Right, great. Well, I'm so excited that you were here today. And
Me
thank
too.
you so much for being here.
Thank
I appreciate
you
you so much.
I love